Being resilient in 2020 on social media, what would you compare yourself to? Hi, my name is Alan Terry. I'm a blogger and social media professional at Freetown Mindset. Today I'm going to basically talk about resilience in social media, affiliate marketing, online marketing, whatever you want to call it, and what would you liken yourself to in terms of being resilient to deal with the punches, the knocks, the setbacks, the no's, and also the occasional wins. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button, do hit the thumbs up as well, and please feel free to comment. Now, this actually is quite funny because I was doing the gardening just yesterday, in fact, when the sun was out, and very nice. So, as usual, when you're doing the gardening, you're mowing the lawn, you're taking care of the flowers because they're all delicate, and then you're sighing and kicking the weeds and pulling out the weeds and getting your gardening gloves in and pulling the weeds out. So no matter what I've done is I've put the weed killer on it. I've literally got the strimmer to cut it down to nothing. I've pulled out the roots. I've continuously uplifted the roots and put other things down to get rid of the weeds, but the weeds just keep going. They will not die. They will not stop. So that actually got me to thinking, actually, why not be resilient like a weed and become a weed? May sound a bit crazy, but that's what I'm basically just thinking. Hey, I'm just going to liken myself to a weed, because if you think about it, I've literally put a weed killer down. I've pulled the weeds up by the roots. I've mowed them. I've trimmed them. I've done whatever I could do to get rid of them, and they will not go. So that is basically what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to liken myself to. Hopefully, with some good killer content out there, some useful information for people. So it's just really a question out to you, the people, the audience, anyone that is going through a social media journey or business journey or any other challenging journey at the moment. What would you basically class yourself in, or what would you put yourself in to make sure you deal with pain, setbacks, torture, whatever it will be? So mine basically is the weed, and that's only just come to me just from yesterday, from when I was doing the gardening. And it's quite actually funny when you're doing something like that, something will just pop into your mind and think, okay, I'll talk about that on my YouTube channel today. So that's all I wanted to talk about. It was just a very, very quick video out there, just for the mindset about talking about, how do you actually deal with any of the setbacks and pains. If you don't already know, one thing that I do touch on is the mindset, because I think the mindset is very, very key, important to be successful in anything. And going from my story, which I have mentioned before, back in 2008 when we had the global crisis. At that time I was only married for a couple of years. I'm a 1-year-old daughter. We only just bought a house 3 years ago, so we obviously had finance upon finance upon finance stacks upon us. I was doing okay at the time as a recruiter, but then all of a sudden literally everything stopped, everything changed. So what basically happened was we were broke. So back in 2008, sold my car, worked for Tesco, the supermarket, on the weekends and evenings as well as a part-time job. So literally what I was doing was working in a recruitment firm full-time, and also when I finished work on a Thursday, I'd basically jump back into my car, drive to the supermarket, get a change, work again, do that on the Friday evening as well, do that on the Saturday 11 till 7, and do that on the occasional Sunday as well. I think it was 10 till 4, which I now class as definition of madness and craziness, because one thing that a lot of people do is they'll jump into something to waste time in or spend time in, because they don't know how to create money in a different way. So yeah, back in that journey, that's what I was basically doing. Had to sell my car at the time, and then literally bought a banger, so much so the car was that poor and bad. The indicators wouldn't work, so I was literally sticking my arm out to do a signal, and then the speedo went. So when the actual speedo went, I had to look at the revs, depending on what gear I was in. That would then I could kind of determine the speed I was in. I'm a bit of a geek on cars and revs and blah blah blah, so I kind of knew what speed I was travelling in. So no, I persevered through 2008, 2009, working a part-time job, still working a full-time job as well, doing crazy hours, not seeing my family, not seeing obviously my wife, not seeing my daughter, meant to obviously be the greatest times in your life, which it still was, but it was still challenging. And then obviously I got all through that, and then years upon years upon years, I was striving to find a side hustle, another source of income or revenue that would take over my normal day-to-day job. So just like anyone else that may be watching this, you fail again, you fail again. So that's what I'm now liking myself, the way I'm thinking about it. That's why I'm liking myself to the weed, because no matter how many times I was told no, kicked away, got rid of, pulled out, said you wasn't good enough, blah blah blah, I basically persevered. I did do a few different business ideas which failed and failed and failed again, but then I went into social media, online marketing, affiliate marketing, and that's what worked for me. So when it's come to the coronavirus of 2020, I was basically ready for it. So what basically happened to me is my international headhunting business obviously came to a complete standstill, but at that time anyway, because of what I learned from social media, I was consulting some of my clients anyway from like the recruitment side, but I was also consulting them on excelling in social media, getting the social media presence up there, by way of obviously using different platforms. So that was another stream of income, but obviously that then started to die down. So that was two streams of income that disappeared. But because of what I've learned in the past and still currently learning, I then obviously pushed my affiliate marketing side of the business more. I created my blog. I used my blog to generate income by way of monetizing that, and then also created my YouTube channel, which you can see me on now, and then obviously got to 1,000 subscribers within a very quick time, and I would not have known how to do any of that if I didn't just take that bit of time to invest in myself. If I had have done this, back in 2008, rather than go and work for Tesco's or a supermarket, literally, working a lot doing that, and I would have done that back then, I would have been in a massive different place now. But at least what I did do is I did find my journey, and I did make this work for myself and my family. So it's obviously given me more time with my family, more time with my friends. Obviously it still is tough, it still is challenges there. You always have your challenges, as we all do. Life would be boring if you just kept winning all the time. People think it'd be great if you won constantly, but I think life is here to challenge us, and things happen for us, not to us. So you just need to find out why is this happening for me, and then obviously applying that. I think obviously 2008 was a thing that happened for me. Back then I didn't know what to do. I just went into default mode of everyone else: get a part-time job, do more hours, get a part-time job, do more hours, rather than okay, how can I make this work for me, be an entrepreneur, and basically make money come to myself. So hopefully that makes sense in terms of what I class myself as. I'm a weed. So people always use it as a negative, weed as in you're not strong. But I think people have got it completely backwards. I think when you just look at it on the base level, you take your time to nurture the flowers. If you tread in the flowers, that's it, they're gone for the whole season. But if you tread in the weed, it's there within a couple of days. So all it needs is a bit of sun and a bit of water. So that is it. I just wanted to put it out there. We do get our challenges. I've been challenged massively this week as well, because I am creating content and I've had a bit of a setback on the technical side, but I'm not going to let that stop me. So I have put a link down below from where you can click on to get onto my webinar. It will be launching very soon. It is something that you should not miss out on. You cannot miss out on if you want to take control back in your life for yourself, for your family, and the information that you will have will be evergreen. You can keep that forever and pass that knowledge on to your family, friends, or keep it to yourself and just literally swim in a coin of gold like Scrooge McDuck from DuckTales. But on that note, have a great day. Asante from Freetown Mindset. Don't forget to hit the link.